Okay, I believe we're all set.
Okay, I will call to order the Upper Arlington Public Library special meeting of the board. And this is Friday, April 24th, right?
Yes, 24th.
Okay, great, thank you. Allison, will you call the roll, please?
Yes. Kevin Fix.
Here.
Stephen Flood.
Here.
Peter Kahn.
Here.
Kate Harrod.
I'm here.
Gloria.
Here.
Bill Shakurti.
Here.
John Yesso.
Here.
Good to go.
Okay, thank you, Allison. We are meeting to consider a resolution to authorize a salary reduction and reduction in hours for exempt and non-exempt employees. Beth, do you want to talk to us a little bit, please?
Sure. Did you want me to read the resolution?
That's not necessary. I don't think
All
so.
right. Okay.
I read it.
All right.
Okay.
So basically the resolution, the recommendations that we're making to the board is a 5% reduction in full-time exempt hours, a reduction in hours from an 80-hour pay period to a 75-hour pay period for non-exempt full-time employees, and either a furlough or up to 50% hour in reduction for part-time employees. Basically, we did everything we could to cut from the library materials budget and the other expenditures. We're estimating a up to 30%, if not more, reduction in the public library fund, which will cause us to lose about $600,000 this year for the rest of the year at a minimum. We were able to cut $380,000 from the budget first before we even looked at salaries and benefits. But in order to make up the additional revenue, it was necessary for us to consider other reductions as well. We're hoping to see an uptick in the PLF at some point, which case, the resolution will cover measures that will allow us to bring back hours if we can.
Beth, what did you learn from the webinar yesterday?
Right. So we looked over several scenarios, and the one sticking point for us was that the CARES Act, which is a relatively new act that came out for the pandemic, would allow staff that are normally not eligible for unemployment benefits. Basically, if you made less than $269 a week, you would not be eligible for unemployment. Well, that is no longer the case. Most staff, according to the webinar that we attended yesterday, as well as information from legal counsel and Ohio Library Council, said that staff should receive at least half of their weekly wages and an additional $600 per week through the end of July. The unemployment benefits will last up to 39 weeks. So essentially, staff that are that might be furloughed or have, I think it's more than a 10% cut in hours, if that should be the case, would be eligible for those benefits.
Okay,
so really, ultimately, that came to be the decision that we made because it was in the financial best interest of the library and the staff.
That's good to reflect in the minutes, but it's a benefit of both.
Right. We planned on sending out information, detailed information to the staff, if the board approves the resolution, and be able to help them, apply if that's what we end up doing.
And Beth, with the reductions that you made in materials and et cetera, is that something that we will hopefully be able to restore, or?
Most likely not this year. I don't foresee that. If we restored, anything back to the budget, it would be because unfortunately what will happen if we furlough staff and we reduce hours, the branches will not be open as long as that's the case, and we may have limited hours for Tremont. And in order to put those hours back into place, we need staff to be able to do that, and we need to be able to return those hours to the staff in order to open those buildings. And that's really our priority.
Right, right.
Beth, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I thought I heard you say that the combination of non-personnel cuts was 380,000.
340.
Yes, yes.
This is 380, but I think it's
Pardon?
340. Yeah, I think it's isn't it 340,000?
I thought it was 380. It was 179 for library materials. And then another, I think we ended up with 160. I had sent a spreadsheet out with cost savings earlier.
340.
340, okay, I apologize.
340, I got you. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And
And
then,
essentially this proposal, this resolution is scenario 3,
Yes,
the lower of the scenario 3. So it's the additional savings of 180. So it's a total savings of about 519,000, right?
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
about right. Would it be your intention to, I like Bill's suggestion this morning was to add in this requirement that we have an update of the budget in July.
Mhm.
If there's an opportunity at that point, if the PLF funding is not hit as severely as we thought, and we might have a little more money in the budget, that seems to me one of the top priorities would be to restore the salary cuts that have occurred. Because right now it's we're indefinitely reducing the salaries by 5%. I want to make sure that we don't forget that could be restored if circumstances allow.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely the priority for us. That's our goal.
Good. Well, and my question was, and I'm not real sure I totally got an understanding. I understand the first priority would be to restore staff and their salaries if possible, but the materials cuts, we couldn't look at those really till next year, probably.
Probably not. Yeah, probably
Okay.
not.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Beth, did you talk with the other libraries at all about their plans for reopening and what the timing looked like it might be for
So that
census?
continues. Yeah. So I've been meeting weekly with the Franklin County libraries, and the Central Library Consortium is meeting regularly as well for patron services. The dates keep changing based on information that's given to us by the governor and state recommendations. I know that Worthington just announced that they're probably not going to be opening until June. Most libraries have cut their programming. We're trying to make a coordinated effort so that we're all on the same page in regards to opening, patron services, what are we offering, and those kinds of things, but we don't really have a definite as of yet. But we are in contact with all of the other libraries trying to make a concerted effort.
And once you take action on the sort of the employee side, will there be any public announcement, or are you preparing for any sort of questions you might get on that?
Mm-hmm. We will similarly to the other metropolitan libraries, we will have information that will be shared in regards to the cuts that we've had to make, especially considering the reduction in hours that will affect the public.
Go ahead, Gloria.
So we'll have some kind of press release or something which
Yeah.
will tell people what's going on.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Yes, because it'll get around the grapevine fast. And
Oh, yeah.
So
The
that's
first, our first priority is making sure to communicate with the staff. This is going to hit them very soon.
Mhm.
And then we'll have another communication that will go out to the public.
Okay, good, great.
We expect an announcement by the governor on Monday with some more detailed information. So some of our decisions as far as reopening and some of the services we provide and the measures that we need to take, we're waiting for information from him too.
Okay.
So to clarify, follow up to Kevin, just so I understand, we will try to reopen in concert with the other libraries.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Beth, was there any update on those questions about the CARES Act eligibility with the having the branches be closed? Or
So what the attorneys talked about in the webinar said that if someone is on furlough and they are not employed, they are eligible for unemployment benefits and the CARES Act, regardless of whether or not a business is open or closed. So if they're not working, they should be eligible for those benefits.
Right, that makes sense.
great.
Good. That's great. Okay. Any other questions?
No?
Gloria, I don't have a question. I have two suggestions.
Okay.
I don't need to put it in the resolution, but I just want to get it on the table. One is you probably, I remember Beth, you were talking about there's some changes you'll probably make, like dividers or screens or stuff. You probably ought to track whatever expenditures you make for the pandemic for two reasons. One, it would be good to know. And secondly, if there's ever a chance to get public reimbursement, they'll probably want some for the record. Secondly, I think when Lori said that she didn't do the transfer of the 300,000, I think that's absolutely correct. The longer term, you need to go through that capital list and give us a sense of what might make sense to go forward with anyway, might make sense to postpone indefinitely, and then what's in between. And then maybe we can revisit that in July or before that or whenever.
I had a preliminary discussion with Steve, our buildings and facilities manager, and Greg to talk about some of the capital improvements that we would put on hold. So we do have some of those. We've already started working on that. Oh, Gloria, I think you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Any other discussion?
No?
No more questions? Good. Well, once again, Beth and all of you, I commend you for, I know this has been a tough thing to have to deal with. You know, I'm just real proud of how everyone has stepped up to the plate and worked it out. And, you know, I think we'll hopefully, you know, the staff, I know you've been communicating with them. I think they'll understand. You know, if there's anything I guess we can do to help you with that, you know, don't hesitate to let us know. I guess if we don't have any more discussion, do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Moved.
Second?
Any more discussion? If not, Allison, could you call the roll call, please? Roll, please.
Okay, when I call your name, can you please tell me aye or nay for the resolution? Kevin Fix,
Aye.
Stephen Flynn.
Aye.
Peter Hahn,
Aye.
Kate Hare,
Aye.
Gloria,
Aye.
Bill Shakurdi,
Aye.
John Yesso.
Aye.
It appears the motion has passed. If we don't have any other business, could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. I think that's it.
Thank you, everybody. And I want to thank the board for your support. This has been an incredibly difficult time, and I appreciate your feedback and your input. You know, and I want to thank my admin team too. Really, it's been a really difficult journey, and I'm glad I have you to go through this too. You know, we're all in it together. So I just want to say thank you.
We'll support you
You too.
all the way.
Right. You know, just let us know if there's anything we can do.
You're doing a great job, Beth. I can't imagine how hard this has been.
It's hard on everybody, really. So, thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.